This is a front lockdown kit for a Mk4 Focus ST. I'm going to show you what it is, what it does, and how to fit it. So what this product does is basically it allows us to align the subframe in the car perfectly to the chassis. When the cars are built on the production line, they're built with very wide tolerances, and the reason for this is it allows them to put the subframes into the car very quickly without delaying the production line, and they can get them onto the next station without any problems or delays. When the car is then finished on the production line, it goes off and has the geometry and everything done before it gets delivered to the customer. And when the geometry is done, it's set with the subframe occasionally not aligned correctly to the car, which is not ideal. So we've developed this product that allows us to put the subframe perfectly square to the car, and then the geometry can then be corrected to make sure everything is as accurate as possible. As an additional benefit of the product, what it also does is it locks the subframe to the car. So under heavy load, under heavy cornering, particularly on track when you've got sticky tyres, the subframes can move. There's that much tolerance between the subframe bush and the bolt that there can be up to sometimes 10 mil of movement. It's rare for it to happen, but it does happen, and when it does, it throws all of the geometry on the car completely out. So I'm now going to show you on the car how it all goes together. So we've got the car up in the air. We're going to look at the front subframe and show you where the bolts are. So round in this side, up above the drive shaft, there's the first one here, and obviously on the other side, matching one. And the back is a bit more complicated because you've got covers in the way. So you have to remove 2 screws from here, some clips from here, and a nut there. You can see on this side where it's already come apart, and we have to remove this whole plate to get the sleeve into the hole. Before you loosen any bolts on the subframe, make sure you get some kind of support under it to make sure it doesn't drop out the car. We're lucky we've got a 2-poster ramp, so we're using a gearbox jack. If you're working on the ground on axle stands, a trolley jack is absolutely fine. Just be very careful where you put it so you're not damaging any surrounding components. Firstly, just crack off these 2 at the back. These are 13 mil headed. You don't need to take them right out, just need to loosen them because the plate is slotted. The large bolt on the back is a 21 mil hex. You will need a big bar, these are very, very tight. We have to loosen all 4 bolts in the subframe because we need to shift the subframe around to realign it once the collars are in. Just undo them 2 to 3 turns just so there's some movement. You don't need to take them all the way out just yet. So remove the rear bolt, and then with your loosened bolts at the back, you can just slide the plate off. So now the plate's out of the way, I'm just going to wind the bolt back in just to show you how far out of alignment the subframes can go. So if you see the size of the hole, the diameter of the hole, and then the diameter of the bolt, you can see the difference. You can see the subframe is basically pressed up against the side of the bolt rather than being centralised. Okay, moving diagonally across to the front bolt. These ones obviously already pre-loosened to allow us to move the subframe. And you can see again as this one comes out, you can see the size of the hole and the thickness of the bolt, and you can see how far off the alignment is. Before you put the collars into the subframe, it's a good idea to put a bit of anti-seize on it. We're using copper slip, but any kind of anti-seize is absolutely fine. Just a small bit around where the collar pushes in, and then also on the shaft of the bolt, just so if it ever needs to come apart, nothing seizes, everything comes apart nicely. If you see the markings on this bolt, or on the washer on the bolt, you can actually see a visual indication of how far out of alignment this really was. See, this is an imprint here of the metal part of the bush, and you can see where that is in relation to the thread on the bolt. So we slide the collar in first, and then the bolt goes in next. As with the rear bolts, you probably need to jiggle the subframe, maybe with a lever bar or something, but take care where you're levering, make sure you don't damage any surrounding components. You want to tighten the bolt so it just takes the weight of the subframe. You don't want to tighten it fully because we've got to get the other collars in, so we may still need to move the subframe around. So moving on to the next one, we're going to work diagonally. We've started at one corner, come across to the front, onto the back one, and we'll finish up on the next front one. Anti-seize on the shaft, make sure if we ever do need to take it out. And again, just a bit on the bolt, on the top of the shaft, just so it doesn't seize in the collar. Now, because of how the bolts fitted on the rear of the front subframe, it goes together a little differently to the front bolts. So what we have is the plate that locates the subframe. We have the new lockdown shaft, new lockdown collar, and the bolt. And how this goes together in the car, the bolt goes through from the underside, and the collar sits like that. But we have to assemble it on the car because we need to slide the plate into place. So, as we saw on the bench, it has to be assembled in pieces on the car. So first, the collar goes into the hole, followed by the plate, and lastly the bolt comes in to hold everything in place. As with the other side, we've got some grease on it just to make sure it slides in nicely. The bolt in the hole. Okay, we're on the last one. This is the back corner, and the same as the other side. Collar goes in first, followed by the plate, followed by the bolt. One thing to note, on the collar, the tapered end goes in first. So you may notice that when I've been putting this all together, I've been using hand tools for everything. When you're doing something like this, it's very, very easy to cross thread the bolts. So if you're winding it in, if you're using a power tool, a nut gun or an air gun, it's very, very easy to damage the thread. If you wind them in with a hand tool, you can feel if anything's not quite lined up, if anything's cross-threaded, before you do any damage. That's all the bolts tight. Make sure you tighten them to the manufacturer's specification. We'll list them down below so you can see them. All that's left to do is to put all the covers back on. Make sure you clip them all up securely so they don't drop down when you're driving. And very, very important now is that now your subframe is correctly aligned. It's very, very important that you now get your geometry done, because if the subframe has moved a lot, your geometry will move as well. You'll wear your tyres out, your handling won't be optimum.